All right, let's crack a 500-year-old code. We're talking about a man who sparked a global revolution that's still going strong today. And the wildest part?
He never wrote a single word, not one. So how in the world did he manage to send a spiritual shockwave through India's Bhakti movement, that path of personal, passionate devotion, that we can still feel 500 years later? How is that even possible? Well, we're about to find out.
Okay, so this looks terrifying, right? It's basically a final boss-level exam question, the kind that just makes your brain shut down. But what if I told you there's a simple 3-point code to absolutely nail this? Stick with me, because by the end of this, you're going to have the key. And here it is, the secret sauce, your 3-point code. First, we're going to talk about a revolution of song, then a social earthquake, and finally, how this whole movement was built to last for centuries. Let's dive in. First up, the revolution of song. This is where it all kicks off. See, Chaitanya's genius was that he understood something profound. If you want to change people's minds, you got to capture their hearts first. And he did it with a totally radical new way to worship. You see that word on the screen, public? That right there is the game changer. Before Chaitanya, for a lot of people, worship was this quiet, private, kind of exclusive thing, kept behind temple walls. He took devotion and just blew the doors off, taking it right into the streets, turning it into this massive, joyful festival for everybody. This was his secret weapon, Sankirtana. And this was his toolkit. He gave people a simple, really powerful chant, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. He gave them a story to connect with, focusing all that devotion on the divine love of Radha and Krishna. And then he backed it all up with this super deep philosophy, something that could satisfy both the heart and the head. The combination was just electric. Now let's get to our second point, and honestly, this is where the story gets truly radical. This was never just about singing and dancing. Oh no, this was a direct challenge to the entire social structure of the time. It was basically a social earthquake.
Just let that sink in for a second. In a world that was defined by a super rigid caste system, with strict rules about who was pure and who wasn't, Chaitanya came along and said the only thing that actually matters is what's in your heart. He called it Bhakti universalism, and believe me, it was the engine for some massive social change.
And this just lays it out perfectly. That rigid caste system, he basically ignored it. The idea that real worship was only for a select few, he completely shattered it. Religious exclusivity? Nope. He replaced it with this universal call to devotion, welcoming literally everyone into the fold. And if you need proof, here it is in black and white. Harita Satakara. He was born into a Muslim family, and Chaitanya didn't just accept him, he made him one of his most important chief disciples. This wasn't just some nice symbolic gesture. It was a loud, unmistakable statement that your background, your birth, it meant nothing. So, you've started a revolution of song, you've broken social chains. That's amazing. But here's the big question. How do you make sure it doesn't just fizzle out once you're gone? Well, you build a foundation. And that brings us to our third and final point, creating a legacy in stone. Now remember, Chaitanya himself didn't write anything, but man, did he inspire his followers to build an incredible framework. He appointed these brilliant scholars, the 6 Goswamis, to lay down all the theology. His movement built this huge network of temples and monasteries. They wrote everything down, the philosophy, the practices in these detailed texts, and they kicked off this huge cultural wave in Bengali literature. They basically built an entire ecosystem for this revolution to thrive in for centuries. And what's the result of all that? Over 500 years of influence. That passion and that structure he inspired, well, they're the direct ancestors of modern global movements like ISKCON. This isn't just dusty old history. It's a living, breathing legacy that you can see on streets all over the world today. It's incredible. All right, let's bring it all home. Time to put our 3-point code together and build that perfect answer. So here's your formula. The reorientation of the Bhakti movement happened on 3 key fronts. First, he totally changed the practices, making devotion public, loud, and full of emotion. Second, he transformed the social landscape, just shattering old barriers with this message of universal love. And third, he made sure it would all survive with a super strong institutional framework. So look, here's the absolute key takeaway. You gotta get this. Chaitanya didn't just contribute a new idea or a new song to the Bhakti movement. No way. He gave it a new heart, a new voice, and a brand new social conscience. He didn't just add to it, he fundamentally reoriented and reshaped its very DNA. So, it leaves us with one last thought.
Chaitanya's revolution was literally powered by song and community. If that combo could shake the foundations of society 500 years ago, what modern revolution is using those exact same tools today? I'd love to hear what you think, so drop your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if this opened your mind, hit that subscribe button for more jaw-dropping insights every single week.